Georgetown. On that side, you can bring that and go the other side,
Side, yeah. Yeah.
Venezuela side.
Venezuela, yeah, that's right.
But they got people who study it, and then they come forward. Suddenly they write up a book,
Mm.
and then get a book of how these things were. So those in those is
Yeah.
Mark the Caribbean. One, I think that sure Sammy Scottish girl, she take one of the Atlas and Celtic and take one they got to John or something.
Okay, yeah, no about.
And it give you trade.
Mm-hmm.
And it got some part which was never same
Yeah,
trade,
that's right.
but they were cotton plantations.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But you don't find them here unless you had one from youth and you save it
Same,
and
yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I don't know. Can't think of the world the more I go in my way. But everybody nearly is mix up. You're talking about it's who? Linda, no? Linda, one of my heroes.
Yes.
So every time she come near to me, she feels like she is a relative of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I mention it, I tell her that I got a feeling that she's a kind of a relative from some far distance.
Mm-hmm.
And when she come and she talk, she got relative derived from Trinidad.
Linda.
And she belonged to the Isle of Wight.
Mm-hmm.
But she have relative that she know about
Mm-hmm.
came from Trinidad. And Trinidad to Georgetown is only about to travel.
It's amazing.
So it could be a mixed nationality where the whites mix up different countries,
Mm-hmm.
and some part will come into to meet down to Trinidad, like how they talk about where John was trying to bring up where Lenya told him.
Yeah.
But the Gibson, how the Gibsons come.
Mm-hmm.
The one Gibson that they couldn't find is the one that come to as far as Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico joined North and South America.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Central
instead of he
America.
come in Georgetown way, he turned to Essequibo way.
Mm-hmm.
And that side he go and he meet up with the Amerindians.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where
Okay.
Gibson, where your father's family come in.
Mm-hmm.
So they want give one brother that they couldn't find
Mm-hmm.
have to be Wessie's grandfather. Because we go and live in Bismarck. And the half-white woman come in and she said her mother was a Gibson. And claim relationship. There is how that boy, you remember the one that we have as relative here? My grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
You see, she looked like a half caste.
Mm-hmm.
And she belonged to the top of Escribo. And she said her mother was a Gibson. So by the time she meet up with we Gibsons in Westmore, she claimed your father as a relative. And when it did thrash out, she was aunt to Wesley's father. Like you get this child and left it there, and she was one of the children that belonged to this man, because he was the traveler. So they talk about it's just so one always come after traveler or something, where John King it, but it's Martin, disappear. So one always disappear, and when you hear he gone to some other country. When I come up, we pick up a Gibson in Trinidad. And when we come from the boat to the train, we were in the same seat. So we see where she bring it to me. When she talked, she was a Gibson. And she's a very fair woman, but she was a nurse. So she came over to be a nurse in Surrey. She came over for some nursing responsible charge nurse or something in Surrey. So your dad, had to take her, them, and carry them to get the train to get from Southampton to Surrey. And she had a student with her. The student was a black girl. But in the train, she said, oh, she was so she's a Gibson. She name was Gibson. So in the train, the cleave relationship, where she was like a half caste. So we just don't know how it comes, but it comes that way. And she came from Trinidad. I came from Georgetown. We came from Georgetown. And the same ship that come in because we fly to Trinidad. And from Trinidad, we take the ship. And on the ship was Trinidadians, was the cook, 2 Trinidadian blokes was the cooks on the ship to come into Southampton. And we travel all the way. Where we reach there now, come off and sit down with the train or something. She was in the same seat near to us. So the sandwiches that he did bring up for me, when I take up the sandwich, he share it with her and this and it talking she from Trinidad. We didn't really want to make everything, but she was Gibson. She was not. We come from Georgetown, she come from Trinidad. And she was a mixture, but when you meet them, the mixture shows up because the fair is coming down to the native mixture, we come down dark. But you meet them, they got this fair complexion or look like a half white, like Lynn, Amanda. So it's how we come. Yeah, so from mother, the mixture showed up, and then mother come down and she was fair. But you strip her, she always skin, fair in her skin, only the parts that in exposed it dark, but mother was fair, but daddy dark, and most of us come down dark. So we don't know where we belong to. No nation. We are of all nation and no nation. You meet some of these girls that come work with you, you talk to them, and they're carers. And this one will tell you, one parent come from Poland, another one come from so place, and they all come in and they turn white. They are white because they're fair. But if they don't tell you that they have the mixture, you will just think they're half caste. They're no half caste. So it's different things. It's such a difference. But the woman we met in where we live in Westmore would tell us her mother was a Gibson. She's fair like half caste, but we don't think of it that way. We just call them red people. And she's fair, and then our daughter was Amerindian mixture. and her daughter is this boy Ryan's mother
Mm.
from from Buxton. So when she met us in Wismar, she hold on to us as relative because her grandmother was a Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
And then she brought her mother to introduce her to Essie. And when she came back, the father came from some place,
Mm.
or her father or grandfather, but he's a man. Sometimes he's there,
Mm.
and another time they don't see for a year
Yeah.
or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he come back, they're family again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dress and he go around. But he was a man always like traveling.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a traveler.
Mm-hmm.
And he gone again and left them. And they don't see for a year or two, then he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So he had Wesley's, this time he had Wesley's grandmother was one wife he had in Guyana and another wife somewhere else. So he lived between these two wives. So say like they always have to have two wives. So Wesley grandmother
Mm-hmm.
claim she married to him, but he
Mm-hmm.
had this other wife there
Mm-hmm.
up in having children.
Mm-hmm.
So during the time that he disappeared from home. Sometime he come and he left with grandmother at Bagotville there
Mm-hmm.
on the West Bank. And she got a child, and when
Yeah.
he gone, year, 2 year passed, she got somebody else and she get another child.
Back in a minute.
Oh dear.